a minute, let's go over them again. First, you must not leave a reason, unless of course you have a reason, and then you may leave the house. All stores are closed. Everybody isn't following the same rules right now. They're very clear. So let's take a minute and let's go over them again. First, you must not leave the house for any reason, unless of course you have a reason, and then you may leave the house. All stores are closed except those that are open. And all stores must close unless of course they need to stay open. This virus is deadly, but don't be afraid of it. It can only kill people who are vulnerable and also those who are not vulnerable. We should stay locked down until the virus stops infecting people. And it will only stop infecting people if enough of us get infected that we build immunity. So it is very important that we get infected and also do not get infected. You should not go to the doctor's office or the hospital unless you have to go there, unless of course you are too sick to go there. This virus has no effect on children except for those children in which it affects. The virus remains active on different surfaces for 2 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours, but in most cases it's days and not hours, and it needs a dampened.
Hey guys, so I just thought I'd start off with that funny. That one's pretty hilarious. So anyway, so there's a couple things that are going on right now with coronavirus, and I know we're all being told it's bullshit. Like everybody's being told so many different things. It's insane, and I think that's important to point out some of these irrationalities. And some of them being what she was just mentioning. She made a funny video, yeah, but at the same time, I think it's important to talk about these things. When she said, for instance, you're not allowed to leave the house unless, of course, you have to leave the house. And they said a mask doesn't work, it doesn't cure you from the virus, it doesn't stop the virus at all, but you have to wear a mask because it could save lives. Like these kind of things are kind of insane that we're following. But the main purpose of this video today is going to be talking about the protests that are going on. Now, there's so many going on everywhere, which it feels good to see, but also there's a lot of rumors and a lot of bad things being talked about when it comes to these protests. So I wanted to debunk some of that. So one, are we protesting because we think the virus is not real? That's false. We are not protesting because we think the virus is not real. That's not a thing. We know that the virus is real. We know it's very, very, very real. In fact, we know it's very real. In fact, what we know also, though, is that we have constitutional rights and we are not down to lose those rights for anything or anybody. Now, another myth. People are saying not only do we not believe the virus is real, they also think that we think that everything is a conspiracy theory with the government and that it's not really happening in the hospitals, blah, blah, blah. We think that it's all fake. That's another false thing because we know that the virus is real. We know this virus actually is hurting people and killing people, but we know also that we are thinking too deep into the situation when we're acting crazy. We don't need to be going this paranoid with the situation. And that's the biggest myth, I think, of all. In fact, when you see the hospitals having tents in their parking lot and you see them not accepting people to go and visit loved ones in the hospital and the tents outside have extra beds, doesn't mean the hospitals are too full. Remember, we are all told to social distance. So when you social distance in people in hospitals, you have to spread out the patients, meaning they have some of them in the fucking parking lot now because they don't have 2-door room anymore. And when I was talking to my friend who was actually working at a hospital here in Orange County, she said that the hospital is only at 1/3 capacity. So it appears like the hospital is full, but it's not. So don't let that scare you. The media, on the other hand, are the ones that are propelling all these speculations and all of this paranoia, if you will. And the media is the one telling us the hospitals are full. There's tents in the parking lot. They're not letting anybody into the hospital. Oh no, you might get infected. Don't let the media scare you. The media has been trying to scare you since day one, and half of you guys, it worked. And those are the people that we call the left. So don't become the left, and don't let the media scare you. Remember, these are fake fucking people who are just simply having their Trump derangement syndrome fits, and they're taking it out on the American people. Don't forget that it's still within the same 4 years of the Donald Trump presidency, okay? So don't get twisted. So that's what I want to talk about, was that situation. And, of course, the first. So you guys have been seeing protests everywhere, right? There's literally everywhere. I have to admit something. I feel like, okay, your patrons are about to get mad at me, but I feel like we're oversaturating it. You're oversaturating it because I went to another protest this Wednesday and on Wednesday morning and downtown HB again, and it was really, really small. And it's not a bad thing that it was small. We made our point. We still are there to be patriots and rise above. But I want you guys to know that these protests are getting smaller and smaller only because you guys are having so many of them. They're becoming so saturated. And I feel like there's so many going on. Like there was 2 today and I was like, oh, fuck, they're both by my house. But I didn't go to either or because it's so saturated that like I feel like people are like, I'm not going to go to that one. I'll just go to the next one. And I got to be honest with you, people like me, feel like we need protection when we're at these rallies because we have a lot of hate, as you guys know. And I've had cigarettes thrown at me, I've had bottles thrown at me, and I like it better when there's a lot of people. And so I think that to make our point even bigger, I think we need to have bigger events. And I think that maybe we shouldn't saturate it so much when it comes to the stay-in order protests. I mean, anybody can go out and protest. You can go stand on the road and have a sign if you want to. But I'm just thinking that maybe you guys were getting a little bit tired because I'm noticing a lot of patriots not showing up to our events as much anymore. So that's just something I want to throw out there because they're all saturated. But let's talk about the main event. The main event is actually going to be on May 1st because that's the day we want the whole country reopened, especially here in California. So May 1st, there's going to be protests all across the nation. Okay, that's the day that you can't miss. Nobody can miss that day. So on May 1st, we have something going on across the entire nation. Most people are going to their capitals and at their capital buildings. Now, if you live in Southern California, obviously the capital is up north and it's hard for us to get there. But I know like Lindsay and I know a lot of people are going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there up at the capital. I can't make it up there May 1st, but I do have something else in store. So on May 1st, I'm going to invite all of you guys from Orange County and Southern California, if you're not going to the one in San Diego, to come to the one in Long Beach. I know there's one in LA. I've been hearing there's one in LA, but last time I went to LA, girl, was the Women's March. And I came back with like coronavirus or something. I was really sick. So I'm never going to go to a big ass event like that in LA again. LA is too dirty for me. Sorry. And that's to be honest. So I'm not going to go to LA events. No, I won't. But anyways, the one in Long Beach. Now this one in Long Beach, I was personally invited to by somebody who is really into the political scene in Long Beach. They ran for office for Congress and stuff. And they have a page as well. Let me pull it up for you. But this person invited me. And the reason why Long Beach is so special, that's different than the other places, because Long Beach is happening by, the guy's name is The Right Latino on Instagram. And I guess he ran for office in Long Beach. He invited me. He said that he already has Channel 11 and Channel 4. They're going to be there as well. Also, here's why this is so important. In Long Beach, every night at 8 o'clock p.m., all of the people on Ocean Boulevard come out of their condos and they all blink their lights and they yell and they scream for our first responders every single night at 8 o'clock p.m. in Long Beach. So if you didn't know that, now you know. So every single night, 8 o'clock p.m. in Long Beach, go down Ocean Boulevard, and you're going to hear everybody screaming and playing music and yelling and like cheering for our first responders every night at 8 o'clock p.m. So what we're doing in Long Beach on May 1st is we figured, why not take it to them? So everybody wants to be cheering for these first responders and stuff who are on TikTok making videos, like, because they're so damn bored because all the hospitals are at 1/3 capacity, whatever. But we want to peg them as heroes right now because the left is kind of retarded and they believe CNN. So let's go ahead and do that. So why don't we take it to that? So we're going to go to that event specifically. And I was invited to go to that event by him, and a bunch of other people are coming as well. It's going to be join the march against total government control. We aren't allowed to have family gatherings. We aren't allowed to have our businesses open, and we aren't allowed to work to feed our families. We aren't allowed to go to church. We aren't allowed to take our kids to the beach or the park. No more. We live in a free country. Let's remind the mayor who we are. We are a free people, a people who will not be silenced or controlled. We are Long Beach. Liberate Long Beach. If we can wear a face mask at Walmart and Costco, we can wear a face mask in our small businesses. Friday, May 1st at 7:30 p.m., we assemble at 300 Ocean Boulevard in front of the big fountain at the convention center. Bring your flags, bring your flashlights, or anything that lights up. Bring bullhorns to make your signs. Bring your face masks. And most of all, bring your friends and family. We are all American. This is not a Democrat, Republican, or a progressive march. This is a Long Beach march, a march for everyone's rights, a Southern California march. Yes, we will march 6 feet apart if you feel like you have to do that. DM this person if you want any help. Also, so you guys know, this one is going to be different because on May 1st, during the day, everybody's going to all these marches, right? But at 6 o'clock p.m., we're all going to go to Long Beach because that's, like I said, at 8 o'clock p.m. every single night, they thank the first responders. So we're going to take it straight to them. And you guys have been seeing at all of these rallies, like nurses, they're like standing in front of people, like looking all tough and shit. Like, shouldn't you, if you're so busy, shouldn't you be like taking care of a patient with coronavirus? I don't know. Maybe you should not be a protest nurse. I'm just saying. But anyway, so we're going to be taking it to that whole entire boulevard, and we're going to march down the entire boulevard. We're not just going to go to the Capitol and sit there or anything like that. We're going to be having lights. We're still going to be thanking our first responders. We're going to be thanking our police officers, but we're also going to make it a point to tell them that, look, we deserve to have our businesses open, because the main part of all of these protests is the small businesses. Now, a lot of people don't, they're not really aware of why the protest is happening. They think it's because it's just against government. No, it's not just against government. Let me tell you a story. There's people in America who are barely making it, but by all means, they're making it, right? somebody who maybe started off poor, but grew up, started becoming an entrepreneur, started their own business, started to be successful and barely making it by the skin of their teeth, but by all means, they're American and they're making it. Those are the people right now who lost their businesses. Those are the people right now who are losing their homes, who can't feed their families, who are losing everything. Those are the people we're marching for. I'm not marching for big corporations. I'm not marching for just people who are like me doing hair out of your house right now. No, I'm marching for those businesses of people who strived really hard in life to make it, to feed their families. Those people who are losing everything due to this coronavirus. Those are people we're marching for. Because like this man said, if you can wear a face mask inside of Walmart and Target, why the hell can't you wear a face mask at work if you have a small business? Why? It makes zero sense to me. Now, that's without going into all the numbers and the facts about the whole situation, because that can get really dirty and really dusty really quickly, because a lot of people have opinions when it comes to the numbers, because a lot of them are very skewed about the coronavirus. So that being said, I'm not going to go too far into that, but I want to know why we're marching, who we're marching for, and that's the reason why. And on top of that, our Constitution states that we shouldn't be told what to do by any motherfucking buddy. The government's put there by us. We put them there and we vote for them to go into these places to say what we want them to say, not to go into these places and go against what we want them to say. That's not the way it works, honey. So we need to remember that. And when you stop thinking the government has control over anything, they don't. We have control over the government. It's our country, not theirs. So that's why we're marching, to remind them of. Okay, so speaking of politicians and this whole coronavirus, I wanted to show you guys one quick thing also that I ran across. It was on Trump's Instagram account, but it was really, really kind of sad. Let's watch it together.
The forgotten men and
$50 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi, what are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate candy.
Thousands have been forced to wait for hours at food banks all across the country.
This is
Oh, my.
chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. We just got to restock the ice cream.
You don't want to heat up everything all at one time.
I can't do it much longer. I'm trying so hard.
Do we say enjoying?
Having to admit that, yeah, we're starving, and
I like it better than anything else.
Taping this segment, there are 22 million people out of work.
This specific program is about stopping job losses today.
This is hurting people bad.
Other people in our family look for some other flavors, but
Right now, it's survival mode. You don't know where that next something else will come from.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
I think that's a very, very powerful video. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's all the proof I needed. Like, just, I normally don't just believe in media and videos and stuff, but bitch, if I saw that video, I just hate her. I would hate her. Like, anybody who saw the video, like, knows that she's not part of the real America. She's not standing up for the real Americans, and she's not one of us. She simply has never been, and we need to stop treating her like she is and stop arguing as if she's a normal human being, because she's not. You saw her fridge. This is quarantine time. She has an entire freezer dedicated just to ice cream alone. There's kids out there who don't even know where their next meal is going to come from. There's people waiting in lines at food banks. There's lines at food banks that are getting mad because people are showing up without masks on. There's people that are being denied food everywhere. There's people that are losing their whole lives. And speaking of which, I have a friend in Long Beach who had a t-shirt business with his wife and his two daughters. They're a young couple. And they lost their business because of this. And now they're living in their van. They went to go to the cruise ships where they're offering for all the homeless people to go and sleep on them. But they said they're not homeless enough. So they can't go to the cruise ships like everybody else. So that's the world we're living in. And that's the world Nancy Pelosi is so far like disconnected from that it's insane. And there is somebody who's not disconnected from this world. And that's Donald J. Trump. And I'm sorry to say, I don't care if you like him or not. He at least speaks for us. And that is something that's commendable all in itself. I'm going to show you guys what he had to say about the situation. And it was really touching what I saw him say about it, because I think that we need to care a little bit more about the humans that are suffering right now.
the forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. Every decision will be made to benefit American workers and American families. America will start winning again, winning like never before. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. We will not fail. Our country will thrive and prosper again. Your voice, your hopes, and your dreams will define our American destiny. When America is united, America is totally unstoppable.
Now, do you see the difference in Nancy Pelosi, like in her vision of America, and then you watch Trump in his love for America? Do you see the difference here? There's a big, stark difference that's really scary, in fact, of the two. And the last little thing I'm going to share with you guys is a video of the person that they think is going to be able to match that. They think is going to be able to go against Trump. And it's kind of fucking funny, but let's just amuse ourselves anyways.
This primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks and the one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing. So, folks, want to nominate a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Obama Democrat.
What?
Join us.
Mr. Vice President, thank you. Thanks for your time. Please come back in less than 13 years, sir.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. I just did Chris. No, I just did Chuck. I tell you what, man, these are back to back. Anyway.
No, it's
I don't know
okay.
how you do it early in the morning, too. Go to JoeBiden.com. Sign up. Volunteer. Contribute if you can. But we need you very badly. Every vote matters tomorrow. The most important vote to make sure it's not going to be any problem is that you send back Sheila Jackson Lee as the nominee without any question. That's the most important. Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? And I want to speak directly to the Democrats here. I'll conclude by saying, no man has the right to lay a hand on a woman for any other reason than self-defense. And I'm going to make the controversial statements all day. If someone in this room got up, took off all our clothes and walked out the door, no man has the right to touch it. How many of you did really well with that $1.9 trillion tax cut that increased? Really good shape, right? Really changed your. Well, you did. Well, that's good. You must. I'm glad to see you're doing well already, and I'm good. But guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut. If you benefit, and it seems to be getting even better. They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing. By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is no, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me. Folks, it's still early, but things are looking awful good. For those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. School, not daycare, for 3, 4, and 5 years old, increasing exponentially the prospects of their success. Free community college providing credentials needed for jobs in the 21st century.
Yeah, about that. candidate you guys think is going to be Donald Trump. You know, at this point, I feel kind of bad for Joe Biden, to be honest with you. I feel a little bad for him. I think that he should let that old man die off being like the vice president to Obama. Let his legacy be that. Why do you have to embarrass him before he dies? Like this man. The good thing is I think that Alzheimer's will make it to where he won't remember it. But at the same time, like, why are you letting his legacy become this? Like, I get it. He's not a good politician. He was always on the left. I was always on the right. We didn't agree politically. But I do have a heart for human beings. And I think what they're doing for Joe Biden by putting him up as a front runner is really kind of cruel. Don't you agree? Like, it's kind of fucked up. Like, why would you want Joe Biden to fail? Like, he's gonna fail, period. Now, his longest rally he's done has been 15 minutes long. His average time is 7 minutes on stage. Donald Trump comes out and talks for 2 hours. Now, imagine these two at a debate. I feel bad for you, Joe Biden. You're about to like really eat shit. Like, Donald Trump's gonna grab you and drag you through fucking dog shit all motherfucking day. Like, it's gonna be easy and it's not gonna be hard. And Joe Biden, you can't even remember your name, let alone we the people. Like, come on. So I feel really nervous for Joe Biden. And because I'm a humane person, I think that we shouldn't make fun of the elderly. We shouldn't like put them as front runner to be president of the United States when they have Alzheimer's. I mean, I don't know. Would you do that to your grandma? I wouldn't. Just saying. Anyways, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. This video is going to be really short and dandy because I have a lot going on right now in life and I have to get back on that. But I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a confusing but informative video on what we need to do during this coronavirus. Okay? So let's see. This video is hilarious.
Everybody isn't following the same rules right now. They're very clear. So let's take a minute and let's go over them again. First, you must not leave the house for any reason, unless of course you have a reason, and then you may leave the house. All stores are closed except those that are open. And all stores must close unless, of course, they need to stay open. This virus is deadly, but don't be afraid of it. It can only kill people who are vulnerable and also those who are not vulnerable. We should stay locked down until the virus stops infecting people. And it will only stop infecting people if enough of us get infected that we build immunity. So it is very important that we get infected and also do not get infected. You should not go to the doctor's office or the hospital unless you have to go there. Unless, of course, you are too sick to go there. This virus has no effect on children except for those children in which it affects. The virus remains active on different surfaces for 2 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours. But in most cases, it's days and not hours, and it needs a dampen.
Yes. Okay, so that's that video, it gets me every single time because it's not so real. That's like so real. It's like the realest thing that they've ever seen. But anyways, so I want you guys to know the protests are still going to be happening. The biggest one's going to be on May 1st. So although they're really saturated right now and everybody's going to so many towards like, I won't go to that one because I'm going to this one. Just know you guys cannot miss out on the one on May 1st. May 1st is going to be the rally that's going to be happening all across America. It's going to be happening in every major city. Again, if you guys want to come to Long Beach, it's going to be at the 300 block of Ocean Boulevard in Long Beach, California at 6 o'clock p.m. So you still have time to go to San Diego. You still have time to go to LA, go to all the other ones during the day, but then come to Long Beach in the evening and bring anything you have that lights up and blinks because it is the time that all of Ocean Boulevard at 8 o'clock p.m. every single night thanks all the first responders with music and cheering and clapping and screaming from their balconies. So we are going to go down to the street and walk through this boulevard, if you will, full of all these condos where everybody's just only coming out to their balconies. And we're going to be inviting them down to walk with us and show the government that we do not need the threats. We do not need the fines. We do not need the jail time. Just simply tell us what we need to do to protect our loved ones. And that's all we need to do. And we do not need to be wearing face masks, standing 50 feet apart from each other. No, if you are practicing social distance, you don't have to wear a face mask. Why? Well, because a face mask is supposed to stop you from coughing, which is only going to land 6 feet in front of you. And that's what social distancing is supposed to be for, right? So if you wear a face mask and social distance, that's like fucking stupid. Like, why would you do both? I don't know. That's retarded. So that's what we're marching for. We're marching for the retarded fucking information that were fed to us by the government so we can show them that we are American. In America, we can make our own damn choices, and we'll find out who loves our fucking grandparents by the end of this if you let us make our own damn decisions. And I think most of us were complying when you started threatening us with fines and jail time. So just saying. But in America, you can't tell Americans what to do at all. Okay? Your job as a government is to take care of the roads, the borders, and arrest criminals. And you're already very bad at that. So maybe you guys should focus on what you're supposed to be focused on to begin with and stop trying to stay in our wallets, in our homes, in our fucking children's schools. That's bullshit. So anyways, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And like I said in every video, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.